Right, Steve, thank you very much for spending some time to come down and talk about your part in Angel and May, the sci-fi series and podcast that we do. We can just get started and ask a few questions if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
So, I can't quite remember how you became how engaged. I think we were on a theatre production together. So I know you do amateur, or rather community theatre, not amateur dramatics. We're not allowed to call it that nowadays. But
no, we're very professional.
Very
absolutely.
professional, yeah. So I know you've been in several theatre productions. So I was just wondering, out of all the roles that you have played, which one did you find the most satisfying?
We met on The Kursk, but
yes.
I genuinely, the first play that I did with Villanova players, Chip from Five Women Wearing the Same Dress, was quite a difficult role to play for a first time out. It was an all-female cast, and I was the only male, so it was quite challenging, and I learnt a lot about myself.
I'm sure you could. I'm sure you would have enjoyed that. I don't remember that because I don't think I was doing the sound on that production.
No, I don't believe so. No.
So have there been skills or attributes that you felt that you could transfer from your roles to the Angel and May production?
Yes, definitely. I mean, learning to do accents, cold reading, just interacting professionally with other actors and producers, definitely. But I've also found that within the podcast and the recording process, I needed to learn not to project my voice like I do on stage, because the microphone's very sensitive, so you kind of have to dial that back a little bit and be a little bit more...
Yes, and it kind of sounds too shouty, so it doesn't sound natural, does it?
Yeah, it does. So you need to find a different way of expressing rather than, on stage you can just, kind of boom the voice out. And
Yes, yeah, and you have to learn to sort of love the microphone and work with it, really. So,
absolutely, yeah. We've had some good fun with that, moving closer and further away.
Well, we've certainly had some fun recording some of the characters, haven't we? We've had a bit of a laugh, really.
Yeah.
So were there... you've been involved in Angel and May from, I think it was episode 6, and... So, I mean, when you first... I think I approached you, didn't I? So, I mean, out of the blue, really, and said, would you be interested? So, what would you think?
Yeah, so I believe, we were on The Kursk, and I was initially a little bit reluctant, but I came along and enjoyed it. It was... I like the idea of a big sci-fi universe, so the idea did draw me in. And then once we started, we were having a good time. So, it's you can't get rid of me now.
It's kind of like a community thing as well. In fact, you are, quite involved in that you do some of the writing, and you've obviously helped out with the website and actually Facebook. So, you've made a great contribution, actually. It's great to have you.
Oh, look, it's... we're a group of amateur artists at the end of the day. Everyone's got to chip in and do their part.
Absolutely. And actually you get out what you put in.
Yeah. Like
with everything in life. So,
absolutely.
So you primarily play two characters. One is a major character, Zed. But you've actually played a number of the smaller parts or tier 2 characters, mostly bad guys, I have to say. So I'm wondering which of the two classes of characters do you relate to the most?
Most definitely the bad guys. I've always had issues with authority ever since I was a young teenager, so definitely enjoy the bad guys. And I'm a bit of a punk, always enjoyed counterculture, that kind of thing, so... Yeah, being able to play bad guys and, express that, I think that's cool.
I think it comes naturally to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, and Zed is a tricky character to play because he's a sort of teenager. I'm sort of, one of the things I've always wondered is, why is he so surly and annoying?
Well, he's got a bit of a complex backstory. He's, obviously he's a sexually repressed teenager. That's always going to, come across as, surly and quiet and whatnot. But he's an orphan as well. He's been brought up by an organisation. He feels unloved. He's been alone for most of his life. It's kind of when you feel that way, I think that you definitely try and push people away. So you you use that surliness and kind of your banter to push people away, and I think that's how we're
he's a bit
writing
like Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy, in that almost his own personality creates the situation for himself.
Yeah, definitely. I think you end up building up a persona as well, and you kind of. Zed's kind of trapped in that, but I think we'll hopefully see a bit of development.
Yeah,
on that as
it's
well.
definitely developing as a character.
Yeah.
So what challenges do you actually face when you're playing Zed?
The impulse is to be very whiny. He is the teenager, and I think early on I really overdid the whininess and the miserableness, which made it really hard to be expressive. The flatness in his voice kind of made him sound very boring. Yeah,
and he was pretty annoying, I have to say.
Absolutely. So we're trying to slowly phase that out and make him a little bit more of
I think he's growing within the universe that we've created. He's growing naturally in the stories, isn't
Well, yeah, as he gets slightly older, and yeah, as the character, the character development in the story works, you start to see a little bit more dynamism within his personality.
Definitely. So, but he does have a strange relationship with this lonely princess character, which is she's an intriguing character. Yeah. Why do you think he's so infatuated? Because they've come from quite different places, really.
Well, they might come from different places, but they've both suffered losses. They've both lost their family. And she's the lonely princess. He himself is obviously very lonely. He relates to that, and she's damaged. So most men, I would say, probably kind of feel drawn to that white knight scenario of being able to help someone, and it makes you feel stronger and more together in yourself, being able to help people like that.
Yeah, so self-fulfilling for him.
Yeah.
So, so let's move on to some of the bad guys and the tier 2 characters. All of them essentially have character flaws. How do you find relating to these?
Well, as an incredibly flawed person, it's very easy to relate to flawed characters. And flaws are so much fun to play as well. There's so much to play with. You get to play with accents, your mannerisms, and you get to be a little bit silly as well, which I really enjoy. Look, it's...
and you do it so very, very well.
Well, yeah, it's...
and it's the fun bit, really. It's the bit I love. I love the bad guys. In fact, we should do more of them, really. But we've got to try and focus on some of the principal characters and keep the story moving along. But
that's right.
We do know that as we help with the writing, both you and I, we certainly know that there's plenty of bad guys in the future.
Absolutely, and a good bad guy can really play a good foil to the Angela May dynamic.
Create situations which make it interesting.
Yeah.
So you're new to writing. You've never done writing before when you came along to this.
No.
So what are you finding some of the challenges in doing that?
Well, the first challenge is actually sitting down and starting to do it, which
that's hard.
That's probably the hardest part. But obviously continuity of dialogue. The continuity of the story, fitting in with the other writers. It's such a big universe as well.
Yeah, it is.
So there's a lot of things to remember. There's a lot of timelines and scientific facts that you need to get right. The parameters of the science are quite set. We don't want to go out into the extreme, fantastic world of sci-fi. We want to keep it as real as we can within the science that we know.
Good sci-fi sort of sets a limit, and then you explore all the possibilities within those limits, really.
Yeah.
If you have no limits, then it's almost...
It can be a bit silly.
Uninteresting, and it gets ridiculous. You can do anything. Right. So no limits makes it uninteresting, I think.
And I think the universe that, you're the creator of the universe.
We are, I think, yeah.
The origin, I suppose, but it really interested me, the universe in itself, and the fact that it did have those barriers, and it's fun to work within that. So
Good. Good. So we're well into the writing in season 3, as you know.
Yeah. Yep.
What sort of developments would you like to see relating to your characters within season 3?
Oh yeah, to my characters. Zed's getting a little bit older. He's getting a little bit more involved with Angel and May and that kind of thing. I'd like to see him get more involved in the investigation side of things. But genuinely, I just really want to see him become more confident and happy. Less of the miserableness, a little bit more fun, a little bit more banter. Look, he's 18 years old?
Yes.
He needs to be having more fun, as far as I'm concerned, and I'd really love that. And
you have some other characters, don't you? I think you've got, what's his name, Pinky?
Pinky, yeah.
Yes.
So I'd love to have Pinky a bit more involved. So he's the he's not evil, but kind of sleazy scientist.
You love playing sleazy.
I can do sleazy very well. It comes naturally to me. But I really want to see him a bit more involved, and it provides great opportunities for your innuendo, double entendres, that kind of thing. A little bit of comedy.
Yeah, adds a bit of amusement, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right.
If not for anybody else, but for ourselves.
Yeah, look, I think most of the laughter happens around the microphone when we're doing recording sessions. So
yes,
yeah.
Well, look, thanks very much for coming down. I mean, it is an interesting experience. It is a lot of work to do Angel and May. I don't think people that listen to it realise, it is a massive. Just a process to get to the end, really. Yeah. But you've been a major contributor, and I thank you for that. And hopefully it'll continue into season 3 and beyond.
Absolutely. Well, writing some stories and getting fired up to get the vocal cords back in action, and looking forward to it.
Great. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.